Okay, this video is to teach you how to use the Smart Record and Smart Recorder apps for Android and for iPhone. We went ahead and took some screen grabs of the particulars of the app. Of course, you'll download the app and it'll show up on your home screen or whatever screen your apps show up on. When they do, you'll just go ahead and open up that app after downloading it right here. So it'll show up. You open up the app. When you open up the app, you'll notice that there's a cog wheel over to the left. And of course, you can record anytime, but the cog wheel is actually what we're focusing on. When you open the cog wheel, you'll notice that there's a recording sample rate, which should be set to 44,100. The recording sample rate is going to be different than the actual export sample rate, which is on down in the bottom here. The export format sample rate is the export format is going to be WAV, and that's okay. But under export format, you want it also to be 44,100, nothing less. Once you get those set up, then you can actually go back to the original screen for your export and recording format, both set to WAV and 44,100. And again, the paid version can let you do MP3s, but WAVs are okay. So then you can start recording. It'll initialize, and in the paid version you can do editing, but in this version you cannot. So just keep that in mind. One take when you do this. When you finish the recording, click Done, and this is on the iPhone. Then it'll actually keep that file name. You can save it and then export it. Okay, once you save it, it'll save it as whatever file name, normally date and time. For the Android, the very similar is true. I'm going to show you that in just a minute here. Let me get into the Android phone. Just one tick here. So just keep in mind when you download the app, the Smart Record or Smart Recorder app, you'll be able to use the cogwheel on the iPhone version. On the Android version, it's a little different. Of course, you'll go to the icon of the app. You'll scroll down. You'll find the app, Smart Recorder. You'll launch it. And then you'll hit the back arrow. It's going to show your recordings first, but if you hit the back arrow, it'll take you to the main menu. In Android, it's not a cogwheel, it's the three little dots for the menu, like every Android device. You'll click on the three little dots, go to Settings, and then you'll check your sample rate. It needs to be set at 44.1 kilohertz. It's the same thing as 44,100. Okay, once you do that, you can start your recording, and you can see that I'm recording here. And then when you finish recording, you hit stop, finish, and then you can name the recording whatever you want. This one's record 003. When you do that, you're going to mail the recording. The email, you'll start new, send it to who you want to send it to. Don't send it to Amy. I don't think she needs that right now. So then you'll send it to file break to or whatever, and then you'll attach the file. When you're attaching the file from either Android or iPhone, you can choose the file from the drop-down menu, or like on the Android platform, you'll go to Android and then Media or wherever you've stored the file. That's also in your setup, so watch where it stores that file. In the particular version, we'll go to File Manager, Internal Storage, and then, of course, you scroll down to Smart Voice Recorder. There's Record 003. And I want to make a point here. It will show WAV on the recording. On the file name, it'll show WAV. So once you do that, click Send. It takes a second to get over there. And of course, the longer the recording, the longer it will take. But once the recording hits the email, we can get out of this, pull up the email. When you download, I want to make sure you understand this too. From the email, you don't just want to double click on the file. You want to right click on it, click Save As, and save it to the desktop. You can create folders if you want to, if you have multiple remotes going for a station, but save it to the desktop. When you've saved it to the desktop, then you'll open up Adobe, and of course this is on the side of the studio. So you'll go to File, Open As, or Open, and then Record 003 is right there. We click OK to open it up. And there it is in Adobe. Notice that it's mono. If you look on the bottom of Adobe, you can actually see where it says 44,100 16-bit mono down there. Now remember, that's where we're looking at to see what type of file it is, or what the characteristics of the file are. 44100 16-bit mono. For next gen, we want it to be stereo. So you'll highlight the whole thing and hit F11. F11 is the magic key that allows you to change the sample type and format. Make sure it's 44100 stereo 16-bit. Click OK, and then we have a stereo file. From there, you can actually increase the audio to where it needs to be. Normally it's around minus dBFS, but make sure that 44100 16-bit stereo is there. Then you increase the amplitude to where you need it to be. Remember that the dB settings are on the right-hand side of Adobe, so minus 9 dBFS is actually where we're heading for next gen to have a good, clean audio piece. If it's really below that, or if you have to do a lot of changing to it, you may want to let the person in the field know. But that looks about right, minus 9 dB. So we have that. Then we can either file and save as on this particular file to import it, save it to the T drive and then import it into NextGen. Or you can actually play it live directly into NextGen if you so choose. Just remember, 44100 16-bit stereo is the key to this. 44100 16-bit stereo. That will get you to have the audio where it needs to be, and you can not have to worry about having to convert anything or change anything, as long as the file that's sent to us is the file with the right format of a 44100 16-bit wave.